All right, welcome back. And as always, each week, we are very pleased to have with us the Council Chair of Terrebonne Parish, Darren Guidry, also Councilman for District 6. Mr. Chairman, good to have you. How are you?
Thank you, Martin. I appreciate you having me.
Good. And as always, we go through the agenda. And I know the agenda changes when the parish president, I think, is it Washington where he's going, or is he?
Yeah, he's going to Washington. I think he's leaving tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He and several parish presidents from across the region are going to discuss the offshore royalty money we get from as part of the federal government. I think Mary Landry, when she was in there, she helped spearhead us getting these Go Mesa money, basically our share of the royalties that the federal government gets. And I think we're the parish president's going trying to get a little more because of our needs and that we have in our particular area as a result of the industry and to help service the industry.
And he always does good at bringing money back. Our delegation has done real well, and we'll save that for another story, but they need to be commended. But we have a lot of things we could talk about. Of course, y'all are always dealing with different things in your districts. Let's start off with street lighting, because we've talked about that before. Bring us up to speed on that if you could.
Yes, and this is an issue we discussed at our last meeting, and I promised my council members that I would try to get a new target date, at least from one of our providers, Entergy, which has a lot of street lights that are out right now. We were told by the end of June all the street lights would be repaired. And I was informed before our last meeting when I asked for an update that I could give to my council members that date would not happen because of supply chain issues and problems getting parts. I've asked for a new date. I have not received that new date yet, but we are still working on it. But what a lot of people don't understand is although Entergy will repair the street lights, the ordinary street lights, they don't repair the decorative street lighting like what we see here that was in Sugarwood. I had to actually send parish crews out just to remove this dangling light, which seemed very, very dangerous, but I could not get Entergy crews out there to remove this. So, fortunately, with the help of our parish president, I was able to get our utility crews out to remove this. And this week, we're supposed to be sending, our utility crews are supposed to be going into that Sugarwood neighborhood this week to try to get the light fixtures that are workable, are able to get working. In the meantime, we've gone through the FEMA process to begin ordering replacement lights for those that have been damaged. And in a lot of neighbors throughout the parish, including Southern Estates and the Gray area, which has a lot of decorative street lighting. And we're in the FEMA process right now. We have an engineer that we went through the process, but the FEMA process takes so long. It's going to be another 3 or 4 months before we get them an order. And then it's going to be 6 to 9 months in waiting for them to come in because of supply chains.
And we're already in hurricane season.
So we're talking July of next year, of 2023, the decorative lighting will be completely replaced out and repaired.
Sometimes it almost doesn't pay to make your stuff look good.
That and sometimes you like to have the FEMA money, but sometimes you wish you had a pot of gold and didn't have to rely on it, because we would have had those street lights done long ago. If that were the case. But it is in the process. We did remove that light that you saw that was dangling. And whenever we see things like that, we're going to take care of them if we have to, and we'll go and replace them. So that is what we're working on, because, that's a dangerous situation. And that stayed like that way for 6 months.
Let's switch, because a lot of people ask me about grass cutting from time to time, and I try to explain to them. All depends if it's a parish right away or if it's a state right away. And I got to say, there's a difference between a parish cut right away and a state cut right away. And I'll let you explain, because it's pretty obvious if you know what they are.
Exactly. And I took some pictures 2 weeks ago. I went and took a picture of a parish road. And I took a picture, that's a parish road. The same day I took a picture of the center median in East Tonal Boulevard. And I think there's a sharp contrast.
We'll flip to the next one. There you go.
There's a sharp contrast. Now, understand, as of yesterday, I think they just started cutting East Tonal Boulevard. And this was taken 2 weeks ago. So you can imagine the grass was twice as tall. It was up to 3 feet tall. And it still was like that on West Tunnel Boulevard as of yesterday. Hopefully
And I
they'll get
think
to it.
Clay is in charge of the grass cutting, if I'm not mistaken, from the parish side. Is that correct?
That is correct. And
And he does a pretty doggone good job.
and I asked him, I said, what would it take for us to take over state highways too? Because that's how some other communities are forced to do it, such as St. Mary Parish. Highway 90 through St. Mary Parish is cut by the parish government. The state reimburses them, but the state only gives them $80,000, and the parish spends like $380,000 to do it.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I guess they would want him to cut it.
But it's their only corridor through the parish. I asked Clay to give us a price, and the price to cut, we have 230 miles of state highways. In Lafayette Street is a state highway. So a lot of people don't realize which ones are state highways, but 230 miles. In order for us to cut that, it would require us a recurring cost of close to $600,000 to cut it. Because understand, we cut our properties 36 times a year. That's almost every week. The state cuts it 3 times a year.
Unbelievable. Hurricane season. It concerns me. I know it concerns you. I know it concerns everybody, but we're right in the middle of hurricane season and a lot of people still in trailers.
That's it. And we get an update, Martin, tonight, Monday night, we have our committee meetings. Then on Wednesday, we have our regular council meetings. But every Monday, we have an update on all of the Hurricane Ida recovery, as well as some of the COVID. But the COVID is not precedence right now. But we also get an update on all the FEMA trailer situation. As you know, we've been having some issues. We do not, as a parish, very important, as a parish, we do not pick where FEMA mobile home communities will be located. We do not, and I get tons of phone calls, I know my fellow council members, because people are concerned because they hear word that this property is going to have a FEMA park. And they're concerned mostly because of some of the recent situations we've had with one of the parks out in Gray. I believe there was a shooting that happened recently. And so that causes them great concern. But understand, FEMA chooses solely where they're going to place these type of facilities. They do not ask the parish's permission.
They don't call you at your house and say, Darren,
They do
would
not.
you like us putting it here? They just do
not.
it.
But with that said, I believe there's 2 other facilities. They are in late stages in like Gray Shriever area. But other than that, I am told by our planning department that no new FEMA communities are planned in Terrebonne Parish. And I believe that is true because I saw the parish president of Lafourche, Archie Chassaw, who commented that FEMA was planning to put 160 Terrebonne residents in one of the encampments in Lafourche. And so he was, asking me about that, and we're the last ones to know about this sort of thing. So I do not believe, so if you're concerned about that, I don't think you really need to be, because I don't think there are any other new type of facilities. But, housing is still an issue for people, and, we have to try to balance that.
But I'd imagine the shelters are going to be, if we have an active hurricane season, especially in this area, let me knock on any wood I could find under the desk here, but y'all would open up probably Civic Center, Municipal Auditorium, Dumas, man. I'm sure you would open up a lot of areas to get people out the trailers into.
Exactly. And at our last meeting, when we gave our update for the hurricane recovery, there was estimated about 9,000 people that are in shelters, travel trailers, FEMA trailers. And of that, the parish is preparing to evacuate 6,000 of them. We're figuring about a third of them will have family members that they'll be able to stay with. The problem is that once you declare an evacuation, you have to have a shelter. So normally the parish waits till we're going to get hit by a hurricane, a Cat 1 or Cat 2, However, because of the situation with the travel trailers, you may see some evacuation orders for a tropical storm, strictly because we have to open shelters. And so you're going to see those types of shelters opening up now in a minimal storm, as long as we have people in travel trailers and FEMA trailers.
Let's talk about, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Bayou Terrebonne floodgate sustained a little damage. That's problematic, isn't it?
It did sustain a little damage. When we say floodgate, there's actually two gates, and it creates a lock so that way people can get in and out when it's closed. We had a barge that damaged some of the battering ram structures or whatever that
Was
guide
it on the
people in.
receiving gate? Not really the floodgate, did it?
I think it damaged both of them.
Yeah, okay.
However, it is still usable. It's not damaged that.
Mm-hmm.
And one very good thing is that the damage that was sustained to the Bubba Dove gate during Hurricane Ida has been repaired, and
Mm-hmm.
that gate is being put in today, Monday. So it will be available for hurricane season that we're now in.
And I know, we traveled with Reggie Dupre, the executive director of the Levee District, going and look at all the floodgates. We went in Lafourche, also Morgan City. We're going to have cameras deployed all over. And I know it was a camera on the floodgate that caught the guy hitting the floodgate. So
And cameras are very important because if somebody hits a gate and leaves, and when I was on the Levee District, Martin, that was one of the things that I had pushed. You can ask Reggie about that. We had just started the Bush Canal gate, and I said, we need to put cameras on it.
Right.
And at first they were a little resistant, and then in the Lee, Ontario floodgate, they had an accident, and the camera caught who it was, and they were able to prove it. And then all of a sudden, people realized, hey, that's a good idea. So we've been putting cameras on all of our gates.
We were actually able to prove they had about a 18-foot surge in Lafourche Parish based on the camera we had perched, which is incredible. No one ever thinks that till you see it with your own eyes. So it works twofold. Got about a minute left. So really sort of just status quo stuff this week, nothing.
Well, we are going to approve an emergency order. The parish president declared a state of emergency so we could begin repairs on that Bayou Terrebonne gate immediately.
Right.
So we have that going on, and we're going to approve some of those actions to allow him to begin those repairs, as well as, just approving adjudicated properties and things that are just regular form of businesses, and a lot of discussion items. So it'll be good to watch our Facebook meeting.
Yeah, business as usual.
That's it. So watch us on Facebook. We stream live, and you can watch it on HTV as well.
There you go. All right, Darren, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Darren Guidry, the council chair, Terrebonne Parish. And as always, we invite Lafourche Parish on. Anybody that wants to come on and talk about their districts, more than welcome. We'll take a short break. We'll be back. Don't go away.